there. Good morning on this Thursday, January 23rd. Welcome to Breakfast with Bridgett here on News 6 Plus, clickorlando.com, and our YouTube channel. I'm Bridgett Ellison. It's good to be with you. I hope you're keeping warm. Lots of Floridians are sort of cringing at this point, kind of had enough of this cold weather, but definitely set some records. We want to get over to the Pinpoint Weather Center with Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos. And, you know, they're even selling those T-shirts, Candace, that I survived the Florida snowstorm of 2025.
I mean, it was historic in the Panhandle. And I can't say the same for us here. I know we're all feeling a little bit of that FOMO, you know. I'm actually writing up a story because we're starting to see so many videos flooding the social media world because people are seeing that light misty rain overnight. It's cold. That light misty rain keeps kind of like floating in the air, catches the wind, it catches a little bit of the light, and it reflects, almost looking like a little snow flurry. Even
I
though
get it. Mm-hmm.
it'd be nice. I would love a nice little snow down, to be honest with you. But it's just rain. It's not snow. So a little explainer on it. It does trick the mind a little bit, I have to admit. But with that being said, there will be the potential of another cold, cloudy, damp forecast in the into the afternoon. I know I'm really selling it, but at the end of the day, we will start to see more sunshine. We will get back into the 70s, just not just yet. We have 2 even colder nights. So tonight will be even colder in the morning. Saturday will be even colder than Friday.
Wow. It is. You can tell when you go outside and then, like you say, you forget something and have to go back to get something else. It's just like the dread of that air.
It's funny because I'm starting to go a little stir crazy, not personally, but my kids aren't going out to recess in the playground because it's too dangerous of cold for our little Floridian babies. So I need them out. I need it to be warm enough that I feel like they can just play outside. Because right now they're stuck indoors because it's too cold, and I can't blame them. I wouldn't want to be.
Yeah, sounds like it's time for a trip to, I don't know what, the Monkey Joe's.
Something with the heater on. All right, maps. We are dealing with a little bit of a scattered light drizzle. It is going to be the name of the game today. Cloudy at times. You'll notice that you'll see a little pitter patter, but it's not even going to be that heavy of a pitter patter. It's going to be more of that light misty kind of nuisance. I would call it like that Pacific Northwest rain where you're kind of stuck almost in those low clouds that create a little bit of that moisture in place. Now, again, there is a little bit of drizzle out there. The little rain droplets are floating around, but temperatures are nowhere near freezing in most of our areas right now. 36 in areas of Ocala, 43 in Orlando. But when you factor in the wind chill, it feels like 28. But just because the wind is making it feel like 28 degrees, that's still not cold enough to actually freeze anything out there. We're at 38 in Kissimmee, 46. That's what it feels like right now in Daytona Beach and down through Melbourne. Now, coming up, I put the palm fronds, I put the sunshine to bring smiles to Central Florida viewers because the sun will come back. It will start feeling nicer, but we have to wait till about Sunday. And the reason why it is staying so cold is we have this Arctic air that is continuing to coat the majority of the country. And not only is the air cold, but it's actually refrigerated. And the reason for it is we have snow on the ground so far south that cold air is actually staying a little colder than usual because of that snow. So it's kind of an interesting, weird phenomenon that's going on just because we just haven't seen snowfall like that this far south ever. Looking at our highs today, yesterday we broke a record cold high. That means we have record highs for warm and we have them for cold. It was the coldest day we've seen. The original record was 51 degrees for the daily record. And so we only hit 47. We're forecasting a high of 47. I did mention in the morning news that there was a little bit of a disclaimer that there are some models that are actually trending colder than 47 degrees. The team, we chat between our shifts and we kind of talk about it. So we're going to hold it at 47 because there are some models that keep it at 47. but there is a chance that some of our northern areas could stay a little colder than even what we experienced yesterday. And the reason for it is, one, we got that cold air, we got the snow on the ground to our north, we got the cloud cover that's going to keep the sun from shining here in Central Florida. And then again, we had that misty rain coverage for today, about 40 to 50%. Now you might be wondering, what the heck is this now? Why are we seeing more rain? Well, there's an area of low pressure that's expected to develop off an old boundary just offshore, and that's going to continue to stream in that kind of light overcasty kind of rain, that drizzle off and on throughout the day. And then it's not until daybreak on Friday that we'll finally squeegee all the cloud cover, all the damp weather out of here. Now, with that being said, the moment our skies clear, those temperatures are going to drop. These are our lows tonight. Mind you, our lows have stayed this morning in the 40s. We could be dipping down into the 30s in Orlando, down to about 30 to 32 degrees in the villages. So we do have a cold weather advisory for tomorrow morning, as that wind could make it feel like the 20s and 30s. But wait, there's more. Saturday morning, we're expecting temperatures to get down to the 20s. That is actual temperatures. Areas in Stanford could get down to close to freezing. So notice that big, bright, dark maroon color. That is a potential for some freeze in the forecast, including areas as far south as Osceola County. Now, with that being said, temperatures were going to be at freezing, but there's no rain expected at this time. So no, the FOMO will continue for Central Florida. There is no snow in the forecast. Today is a weather alert day. We're going to hold that weather alert day through tomorrow. Sneaky suspicion that we're going to get another weather alert day for Saturday morning before we can sit back and finally enjoy those 70s, mix of sun and clouds in the forecast into early next week.
Oh boy, that last little bit there, those 30s before the 70s, what a ride. Whew.
It is going to be quite. I mean, listen. At the end of the day, I don't have any more sweaters and turtlenecks.
I heard you. Yeah, lots of people say they're running out.
I think I'm gonna just come in a jogger set tomorrow.
Just get creative.
I think I might.
Everybody's so creative.
my thermal underoos.
Right. You know what? I did wear thermals yesterday under my dress clothes. No lie.
You have some good winter stuff, I have to say. I might have to raid your closet.
I've slowly let go of more and more. I mean, it's been, let's see, I've 14, almost 15 years in Florida. So yeah, I've let go of a lot of, but I have that big heavy coat just in case.
I do look pretty miserable when I go to pick up the kids. I am now wearing sweatpants, a big sweatshirt, and I am wearing socks with Crocs.
You know what I did?
I am.
I did the sweats with flip-flops and no socks the other day.
Oh, that's
crazy.
Yeah, you might get frostbite.
All right, Candace, thank you so much. Can't wait for the weekend.
I have really given up on this cold. So at this point,
we'll hibernate until then.
Yeah, Steve has given up on the cold.
And normally he's pretty chipper about a little cold snap, but this is not a snap.
Like burning the wood in the fireplace, but I think he's over it. He looks over it. I'm looking over it.
Let's get over there to Steve. So here's some more whining.
Hi.
Yeah.
Does it look miserable? I'm just sitting here. She's 2 foot to my right, and she's just giving nothing but.
Show the guys how you keep warm. Are you able to lift that up, or is the cord too short?
Oh no!
You have a new thing to keep warm back there, which is pretty neat. It's that is a heater.
It's a heating barrier, and then I kind of put it around my legs, and then I have a heating pad on the seat. Well, a heating pad sounds so gross. Like heating blanket. We'll call it that. Candace takes care of me over here.
But, they have to keep it cold in there because of all the equipment and everything. So it does get to feel drafty and especially bitter on these cold days. So it's
Bridgett,
nice.
Be careful. You catch me on sometimes good days and bad days because sometimes the cool and the heat doesn't make sense in here. So I don't know where that theory
You don't know where you're going to. Yeah. You don't know what you're going to get. But you said you were able to do a nice, environmentally friendly fire the other night.
Yes.
You had to
Yeah, so
reuse
pallets and stuff, and you instead of
some
throwing them
firewood.
out on the curb or
Hmm.
anything, I was in my garage yesterday with my circular saw, just cutting it up. Didn't have to dispense it. I was there. I made my house at
So
like
it worked pretty
71
well.
yesterday. Worked great. 71 degrees yesterday in my house without
Hmm.
even turning on the heater.
Like how many
So,
pieces did you get out of like a pallet? Because I would imagine you have to throw away the
I
part
would.
with the nails or no?
Oh no, it's in there somewhere. I'll pick it up later.
Hmm.
Probably 30 pieces out of that
Oh,
pallet.
nice.
Lasted me maybe, but you got to think that's really good wood and it burns
Hmm.
fast.
Hmm.
So that's probably maybe 4 or 5 hours worth of stuff. And I didn't have to go and spend 40, $50 on firewood or even leave my
Yeah.
house. So
Yeah.
it worked out
And so
pretty
how many
nice.
times have you used your fireplace, would you say now, like over
Okay,
the
so I'm
course
a
of?
little bit. I really like the fireplace,
Oh,
so it
okay.
could. I've used it a lot to the point where Camila's gotten home and she's been like, "Why is the fireplace on?"
Oh.
Like, and I'm like, "Well, it's wintertime, so why
Oh.
not?" Kind of thing.
So
So
it's for
I love a
ambiance
good
sometimes.
fireplace.
You're just running everyone out of the house.
Yeah, I just love it, and then I'll sit there and I monitor it. I
Uh-huh.
am not a pyro, but I think it's interesting. It heats things. I just like it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean,
Okay.
it's one of those things. I think it's almost like aromatherapy. It's like you're able to kind of, because even the smell of it is nice if you like that
Yeah, I
sort of thing. So,
agree. And to know that I am a human being and I created fire, like I did it
oh
myself.
boy, ugga mugga. All
And it's
right.
like me achieving my pan-seared steak lately off of
Oh
YouTube. I'm so
yeah,
proud
oh
of
yeah,
myself,
yeah, yeah,
Bridget.
yeah. And
It's
you
been
did you do
amazing.
the
All
broil
right.
at the end?
Yes, I
Uh huh.
did. It's so
Hmm.
good. We'll
Now, did
talk
you
for
set
days.
off
Let's
the
go sneak
fire
a
alarm?
private.
Okay,
No, I didn't. I didn't. I was
good,
so good, and I
good
ate
job.
another one yesterday. Um,
Wow.
uh, yeah, it's a mess. I got problems. So, all right, I-4 right now. We're looking decent this morning, east and westbound. Average drive times 5:28's good, but like Chiefs mentioned, some of those that moisture's out there. So some of the roadways are still slick this morning. So 31 minutes, Seminole County, Sanford 417 to State Road 50 in downtown Orlando. 31-minute drive, a little high. And then a little high, yeah, I'd say this one, Osceola to downtown, 28 minutes. So that one should be about a 23-minute drive time. So just be careful. And then look how gross this is. This is I-4 at 532 Champions Gate. Mix that with the delays and just super cold, dreary weather. Like, it's gross out there. No crash yet. So please increase the following distance. Take it easy. But we're awkwardly backed up right now, even past US 27. So if you're coming in from Polk County, you watch us from Haines City, just be careful. Southbound 429 through the construction zone as you approach the Florida Turnpike. A little slow this morning, but Four Corners still looking good. I bounced around hard on that one. And then Daytona Beach, not too bad either. 417. Candace wanted me to show this earlier. We were trying to find some of what I was calling snow out there. It is 100% not snow, but it is just gross out there. So take it nice and easy. Roadways are slick. You can see the signs they're testing still for the flex lanes are open and operational. Stay warm. Put the heaters on. But also, Bridget, tires might
Mm-hmm.
start to show some compression, some
Oh yeah.
pressure issues
Mm-hmm.
over the next few days. Not a problem. Just stay up on that. You want to make sure you maintain proper PSI in your tires.
Mm-hmm. And it's just like it's the air contracting under the different temperature, right?
100%. I had to learn that a little bit here. I was like, Candace, why does this happen? And she's like, well, the cold and the molecules shrink down and stuff like that. So you've got to boost them back up because the
Sort of like
heat's not going to,
how we shrink up in the cold.
right? Just be like, "Ugh,
Yeah,
sorry,"
yeah.
kind
So
of
what's
thing.
the what would be you think the PSI difference where you might need to go get air? Like if it's like say you should
So
be at
like,
like 37 and it's down to 32 or 33, is that okay? Or should we go get air or just wait?
so once, if you're sitting at about a 33, 36 PSI, you don't want to ever get anything lower, dramatically lower than 5 numbers underneath that. So once you start, say, if you're a 34, and if once it starts hitting 30, 29, you've got to, you want to get on that.
Okay.
Usually your car will indicate to you
Mm-hmm.
within 2 to 3 PSI below it. That's
Okay.
basically giving you some time. Hey, within the next day or two, make sure you put some air in those tires, because after a time it can not really cause a major problem, but then you're going to begin some major wear and tear on your tires when you don't need that kind of mess.
And it's
So,
it's it's going to be a line at the air machines, though, I would imagine, at the gas stations,
especially
for a
those
while.
free ones. I can't believe we have to pay for air. So I'll be out looking at some turning lanes and all that stuff today. Possibly also might be going to an active shooter training press conference. I know Jarrell Baker will be featuring that today. The Seminole County Sheriff's Office is putting on an active shooter training, and Jarrell will be covering that. Not sure if I'm going to go out there with my stream just yet, but either way, we'll have some entertaining stuff, and just people need to bundle up.
10 a.m.?
10 a.m., yes.
10 a.m. See you then. Thanks, Steve.
See ya.
All right, we're still following the snow, of course. Big story up north, and parts of Florida will be digging out today. Parts of Florida school canceled for the rest of the week. And News 6's Angie Casada is explaining how, they have shut down a 200-mile stretch of I-10, as this has really been serious, especially through that Alabama to the Panhandle corridor.
In Florida, snow isn't just rare, it's historic. The Panhandle seeing nearly 10 inches of snow in some areas, shattering records. Nearly 200 miles of Interstate 10 were shut down due to snow and ice, with Florida's Department of Transportation warning North Florida drivers to stay off the roads. Some homeowners are not only digging out, but also dealing with damage after the weight of the snow took down pool enclosures.
Never thought getting a few inches of snow would cause something like this to happen. We never thought for a minute we're concerned about the snow and the ice falling down on the pool enclosure to collapse it. Never thought for a minute that would happen, but we were dead asleep, heard this loud bang. I thought it might have been a tree, but opened the door and it was this.
Governor Ron DeSantis emphasized on the challenges of responding to such a rare event.
For them to be stockpiling snowplows for a once-in-a-decade type thing, that's not the smartest thing to do, so it's not a failing at all.
All right, so we will be following the recovery from this storm all day. Also here at home, local groups putting out an urgent call for help when it comes to helping the homeless through this cold weather. Matthew's Hope in Orange County has been calling on churches and other groups to also open up their spaces to help out with giving people safe, warm places to sleep at night out of this cold. They say that they don't have enough room to help everyone. They set up a special website to help raise money for their cold weather shelter fund. Find out more right now under this story on clickorlando.com. And we will take a quick break. We'll be back with more headlines for you. Keep it here. Developing right now a new move in President Trump's push to crack down on illegal immigration. This morning, we know at least 1,500 more troops are headed to the southern border, and CBS is reporting up to 10,000 more could end up deploying. Here's News 6's Mark Lehman with more.
This morning, additional active duty troops are being ordered to the U.S.-Mexico border to try and stem the flow of undocumented migrants. The move coming as immigration is a main focus of President Trump's second term.
securing the southern border and deporting illegal immigrants from this country. President Trump is sending a very strong message.
Around 1,500 troops are expected to be part of the first round, but according to documents obtained by CBS, that could go up to 10,000. Department of Defense bases could also hold migrants awaiting deportation.
This was a gross miscarriage of common sense to allow people to come in. And I believe the number is 21 million people.
The additional troops will help support customs and border protection, but are not authorized to make arrests. Meanwhile, Governor Ron DeSantis has called a special session to address illegal immigration. Among the proposals are calling for law enforcement to participate in federal programs aimed at enforcing immigration laws, appointing a state immigration enforcement officer, and expanding authority so local and state officials can detain and deport people.
This is the time to get it right once and for all.
Also this morning, many people have resolved for the new year to maybe lose weight or get their finances in order. As News 6 anchor Lisa Bell explains, some popular weight loss drugs right now are having an impact on both those fronts.
I literally had to buy everything new, from bathing suits to pants to shirts.
Dr. George Carroll has been helping patients lose weight for more than 40 years. But he says when so-called GLP-1 drugs made from semaglutide or tirzepatide hit the market, it was a game changer. He lost 45 pounds in about 4 months.
I didn't have a single pair of pants that I could wear because I wore a size 40, and now I was a size 36. I had to get all my jewelry resized because it was slipping off my fingers.
And he is not alone. Clothing retailers are cashing in on slimmer waistlines. A recent poll found 1 in 8 adult Americans have taken a GLP-1 drug. And in 2023, BMI and obesity in the U.S. decreased for the first time in more than a decade. The most notable decrease in the South. A recent study from Cornell found households with at least one GLP user reduced grocery spending by about 6% in 6 months, with high-calorie processed foods taking the biggest hit, including an 11% decline in spending on savory snacks. Fast food chains and coffee shops reportedly also seeing drops. On the flip side, Cornell researchers say sales of yogurt and fresh produce are up. Companies like Nestle now trying to claw back consumers with new products specifically targeting GLP-1 users, as millions of Americans continue to shell out money for these weight loss medications.
Because it works and it's very successful. And one person tells the next person, the mother tells the daughter tells her friend, and that's why 1 in 8, because it's something that is truly a game changer and is very successful.
Lisa Bell, News 6.
Very interesting details there. Dr. Carroll broke down the difference between the medications and as well as the safety of compounding pharmacies. You can see more under this story on clickorlando.com. When we think about getting done with home improvement, it seems like that list never ends. And, maybe you have been trying to pick out some paint colors and you know how hard that is. But imagine if you were limited in the colors you could choose in your neighborhood. Well, now Palm Coast wants to open up the choices a little bit more because they've had a tight rule on that, with earth tones or light pastels being the only ones allowed, but they might expand it to light pinks, peaches, greens, or lavender. There are still many steps that need to be taken for a vote. It would not apply to people living in a neighborhood with an HOA, as those have their own rules about things such as paint colors on the homes. But we wanted to know what other people think about this. And this is the online poll. You can take it now on clickorlando.com/react. A majority of people, 68%, say, let me paint. Because it says, do you think cities should control the color of houses? And 2% say it keeps things nice. 30% say yes, but with limitations. And again, that 68% say no. I think maybe with limitations. Yes, but with limitations. But, I like things to sort of match or sort of complement. But, everyone has a different style. So let us know what you think on clickorlando.com/react. And so that is it, except for we want to tell you about Crystal Moyer has a great package about a diver. A local diver went 163 feet under for a photo shoot that actually broke a record. You're not going to believe these images when you see them, but here is Crystal with more on those images and the story of the man who captured them.
The whole plan behind the story was contrasting like the beauty and calm, like elegance of a model on something that otherwise would be like decaying.
Steve Haining combined his two favorite hobbies, photography and deep sea diving, to tell this story. But he wanted a unique backdrop.
Finding a location that you couldn't build, you know, finding a place that people have never gone to, and it became a personal challenge.
A challenge met off the coast of Pompano Beach, 163.3 feet deep into the Atlantic Ocean at the site of the Hydro shipwreck. This is video from that photo shoot. Steve, his model Sierra Antosky, and several safety divers descending on a cold December day.
I'm in a wetsuit and I'm cold, so the model is freezing, right?
Notice the divers with their wetsuits, tanks, and masks. Sierra, the model, in a dress without any scuba gear. Her safety diver administering oxygen through a mask. Then it's time to pose. Steve only having moments to capture photos before it's time for another break for air. And I know you're wondering, how do they communicate underwater without talking?
There's like hand signals that divers use.
The dive from beginning to end took about an hour, the photo shoot only lasting about 15 minutes. The experience would catch the attention of Guinness World Records as the deepest underwater model photo shoot in the world.
My favorite photo from this series is the one where Sierra's kind of like, she's standing off to the side and she's looking back at the structure. She's not just a model in that particular photo. She's like telling the story of the wreck. Like she's looking back at it. There, you can see like the structure's just towering over her. And then like the look on her face is just calm.
Calm because Sierra has done deep sea modeling before, having years of training and experience. Steve outfitting his camera with special equipment to be able to capture it all.
Folks are probably wondering, what the heck are you going to do with all these photos? Like, why take these photos?
This stuff, I hope, ultimately will end up in a gallery. I just want people to see it and just to appreciate that what they're looking at is a model in a place that most people will never see in their life, you know? And just like the amount of beauty that's in a location like that, that's just untouched by the world.
Yeah. I did ask Steve if he plans to attempt any more record-breaking feats. You could find his answer along with some photos and videos from his deep dive photo shoot in the article on clickorlando.com/insider. In the studio, Crystal Moyer, Getting Results News 6.
Were those images just gorgeous? You can take a closer look, like she said, on the insider page at clickorlando.com. That's going to do it for breakfast. We'll see you at noon. Have a good one.